All right, Miles, let's talk about the Houston Texans. Fresh off their first win of the season, they took down division rival Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of good vibes right now in Houston. A lot of good things and interesting things to talk about. But there's one guy in particular who has just leaped head and shoulders above the rest. He's a young guy. He's dynamic. He's explosive. And I know you got some inputs on him. And before we go into that, though, Texans fans, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. Look, you guys love the Texans. We know it. We hear it from you guys all the time. But we're going to throw you a curveball here. We want to hear who your favorite player who is not a Houston Texan. Let us know who your favorite non-Texan is in the NFL. Let us know in the comments. But Miles, give us a little insights of this breakout star coming out of Houston right now.
Yeah, Nick, we may not be right a lot, but we were right on this one. Early on, all through preseason, all through, after the draft, we had a sense that Texans star rookie running back Dameon Pierce was going to be a little bit special. He's going to be, the best running back on the Texans since Arian Foster. This guy was going to make it be a difference maker, okay? And now the stats are here to back us up, okay? And here's my first thing. I got two things on Pierce that I want to use as jumping off points into our discussion. But first, we have a next-gen stat. You know how we love next-gen stats? Dameon Pierce has faced at least 7 defenders in the box, 22 of his 26 rushes. This was last game. And this was tied for the most such carries in a game this season. Now, on top of facing stacked boxes, Pierce has also gained 95 rushing yards over expectation in 2022, which is the most by a rookie through week 5. So not only is he facing the most stacked boxes, but also he's getting more plus yards. He's getting more yards that they wasn't expected to get. He's breaking the tackles, making guys miss, whatever the case may be. This guy's a stud. He's a hard runner, angry runner, and he's just a good football player, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's not just good for a rookie. He's good overall. Right now, he's 4th in the NFL in rushing, just ahead of fellow AFC South rival Derrick Henry. Think about that. He's ahead of Derrick Henry in rushing yards. That's a heck of a start to a career. And a guy from Dameon Pierce out of Florida, who, like you mentioned, you and I were very high on coming out of college. But I want to mention, take like a step back here and think a little big picture with the Houston Texans. And we knew going into the season, this was going to be about evaluating Davis Mills, whether he was the right guy long-term for this franchise or not, or they would go quarterback next year. And one of the question marks, whenever you're kind of in a rebuilding mode and you're trying to evaluate the quarterback position, says, hey, listen, does he have enough pieces around him? Because you never want to give a quarterback not a chance to succeed. And one of the ways you can evaluate Davis Mills here or feel good about the evaluation the rest of the way is because Dameon Pierce is playing at a high level. So there can be no excuses for Davis Mills, at least from that side of the coin. He has a solid running game that's doing even better in really tough boxes. So right now, this gives the Houston Texans a really great chance to evaluate Davis Mills the rest of the season. Right now, it's kind of iffy, but it's a long season. We'll see how it plays out. And here's the other thing. If it doesn't work out with Davis Mills, you already have a young running back ready to pair up with your next quarterback. Probably going to draft him if that's the route they go. And guess what, Mice? They got him in the 4th round. So they got a stud running back for pennies. This guy is so cheap, getting him late in the 4th round like the Texans did. It's looking like an absolute steal. And these are the low-key kind of roster moves that really help a rebuild and really jumpstart a franchise that's trying to retool itself. Because if you can get a quality skill position player running back like Dameon Pierce in the 4th round and not have to give up a lot of draft capital or a lot of dollars, that gives you a lot of wiggle room to get more players, bringing a deeper roster around them in the future when they have the quarterback position completely solidified. So you got Dameon Pierce, Texans fans. Enjoy him right now. He's a beast. That run against Jacksonville was unreal. But this guy is setting the foundation for the franchise even beyond this year going into the future.
Yeah, Nick. And speaking of Mills and Pierce and that relationship, Davis Mills had some words to say about Pierce, and they were very favorable. He said, just the energy he brings day in and day out, it rubs off on everybody on the team. We want to rally behind that. We want to fight for him. He says, I know the offensive line does, especially in the defense. They stayed on the sideline. They see how hard we're fighting, we're playing out there, and they want to do everything they can to get us the ball back. So let's break that down a little bit. So the first part, obviously, Pierce brings an energy to the team. They're excited to watch him play. But who are the guys that they say that Pierce has the most following with? The O-line, he makes them look good. In the defense, he lets them rest the most. He can grind the clock, get the tough yards, keep the defense off the field, keep them fresh coming back. So they love the defense and the offensive line, probably the most love having Pierce on this team. And it's like Mills said, he brings energy and it rubs off on everyone. I kind of think like in Baltimore, he may not have been the best running back on the team. Obviously, he was let go for J.K. Dobbins, but Mark Ingram was on Baltimore, and he brought an energy that MVP season for Lamar Jackson. And he let everyone know he was the biggest cheerleader for Lamar. He brought the big trust, the big energy to the locker room all the time, and it kind of just helped change the culture of the team that year. And when a guy brings energy to a locker room, you can't discount how important that is. And so I really like to hear, not only is Pierce a rookie coming into the league, running hard, and he's a great player, but he brings good energy to a locker room. And as the Texans going through a rebuild, you really want a guy who brings good energy.